I began to take a lot of time off from work, and I would hit him 300 ground balls a day. I built a batting cage in my backyard, and he actually used to go with Ray when Ray was working for Cleveland, and he would take infield with both teams when they would practice. And the players were blown away by his fielding ability because he was only like, what, Ray, 12, I think, something like that. And he fielded like a professional player when he was 12.
Even though, like Bob would say, even though he's Jewish, he feels like a Dominican.
Right. Well, that's true. Yeah, he actually had, in fact, there was a Dominican scout named Cesar Presbot, who everybody knows. Yeah. And he used... Stop
dropping names, please.
And he used to hit him ground balls all the time, and he eventually wound up being drafted by the Yankees. He was also signed by Florida State.
He was actually picked by George Steinbrenner himself.
Wow.
Okay, George said, someone had said, he's small and he's Jewish. A scout said this. And when he said that in front of George Steinbrenner, that was a no-no. He ran right into that room, and he said, you see that kid right there? I want you to pick him in the 29th round. But Mr. Steinbrenner, did you hear what I said? And that was it.
Wow.
And that was it.
Wow. Now, Bob, you brought a friend.
Wait. Number one, okay, because I want to turn this into like a free-for-all.
Okay.
Okay, you always overstepping sometimes.
Well, go ahead. Go what you got there.
What's wrong with you? Number one, a gentleman that's here today, I met him during the shows, Bad Boy, etc., what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And this gentleman, Ben Falkoff,
doctor.
he's a doctor.
Yes.
He's a dentist, and doctor, I want to say, Steve said some bad things about you earlier, but we'll get into that. Okay, we'll get into that.
Yeah, right. There we go.
Anyway.
I'm going to change my appointment then to the following week.
Excuse me. Dr. Falkoff is being honored at the Super Bowl this year.
Yes.
Okay, for the World Chamber of Commerce Gala Awards. Okay, Doctor, please tell us what that award is about.
Sure, no problem. What's happening is, last time I was here, we were talking about the group Drug Free World Education.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing drug education now for about 12 years. And, you have a program here, I'll show you. And... So
we got it on TV. Don't worry about it. We got it on TV.
I'm going to ask you guys to switch seats. So if we get real quick, because there's no microphone with you, you have to switch. Yeah, we'll switch real quick.
Hold on a second.
That's what it's...
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on.
Change it up.
Switching cameras.
There we go.
Here we go.
All right, sir. Start over there again.
No problem. So, since 2006, Ray, we were talking about it when I met with Steve in the Bronx. We've been running drug education. So we've trained all of NYPD school safety. Then from there, we went to the Caribbean. We signed agreements with the Consejo Nacional in the Dominican Republic, with the Haitian Council on Drugs, with recently now General Nahara, who's a former Air Force Chief of Staff of Guatemala. He signed an accord with their 12th Secretary, that's their council. There's another colonel who runs it in Salvador, Colonel Angulo. And so basically what's happened through all these activities, we've achieved a lot of actual reduction in drug use. In New York City, Ray, what's happened is we actually achieved in teenage drug use a decrease of 19%.
Wow.
And that's through this program, which is basically digital online, right? You can have YouTube. I think I showed you one of the public service announcements. There's about 14 in all. Steve has seen some of them. They're beautiful. What's happened is it's tailored exactly so the young kids see it, they get it, they understand it. And what's happening is we've actually achieved some really good results. We're starting to have impact. We've been to the United Nations a number of times. So what's happening is it's actually a dream come true, Ray, because more than the award is the thing is this chamber actually works internationally. It's composed of ambassadors. President Uribe of Colombia is in this group. There's all kinds of dignitaries, high-level officials. So the beauty of this thing is that we'll be able to take drug education to a really high level and actually do something about decreasing it.
Bob, what's your opinion of that?
Well, I think the biggest problem in this country is legal drugs, because it's a little hard to take kids and put them on Ritalin and drug them up when they're in school and then say later on, just say no to drugs. Right. Unfortunately, we have a very corrupt system where the drug companies are incentivized to actually get people hooked on drugs. Great example is the opioid crisis that everyone is talking about. This is coming from legal drugs. The drug companies control the medical schools. So instead of training doctors holistically, they train them to be drug dealers, legalized drug dealers. All of the major school shootings, talking about Columbine, all the heavily publicized, Paducah, Kentucky, have all been done by kids that were on legal prescription drugs. In fact, if you remember Columbine, those kids that were arrested for murdering their fellow teenagers, they had tried to get into the military prior to their killing everybody, but they were rejected because when you're on those psychotropic drugs, they won't let you in the military. So had they not been on those drugs, they would have been in the military and they would have been there to shoot all those kids. And so nobody wants to talk about that. And, you know, of course, illegal drugs are also a problem, but it's a little hypocritical to try to, throw people in jail for illegal drugs when, in fact, we're encouraging drug use. And none of these, if all you have to do is listen to any commercial on TV and listen to the inundation of these drug commercials and listen
infomercials
when they tell you what the side effects are.
Right. Worse than the
Antidepressant drug is the antidepressant drug causes you to commit suicide.
Yes.
Right.
You know.
I mean, big pharma's controlling everything, because even vaccinations, I mean, back in the 50s and 60s, there were like 4 or 5 vaccinations. Now there are over 60 vaccinations that everybody gets. So there's a lot of controversy with that in the autism world. But to get back to what you're talking about, how do we combat the illegal drugs in this country?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to actually commend Bob because there's something I wanted to mention, which is also tied into what we're doing, which is important to mention. And I'm glad we're all here together. And Ray, I wanted to see we get the Yankees with us. With the Globetrotter Bobby Hunter and with Jamie Dukes, he was the ex-lineman for Atlanta. What we've done is we have this new infusion. It's minerals, it's vitamins, and a very low level of, it's called NSAID, like Motrin. And what it does is it decreases inflammation. The whole purpose of it is this: we're studying it. So what's going to happen, we're going to use it preoperatively and then postoperatively. Because like Bob said, what's happened is over the years, opioids were being given out like candy.
Right.
So a lot of people got addicted. They had it in the houses. So then they were there. The kids took it. Parents didn't know what they had. The dosages were, the amounts that they were giving were way too high. So what's happened is with this new treatment, people are going to have an alternative. We're not going to be using opioids. So what's going to happen is now they're going to be having this infusion. And by doing this, now they're not going to be on opioids. It's going to directly hit at this. The other thing that happens is you're taking a whole body approach where you're actually rebuilding the body. And what's happening is in Atlanta, I wanted to mention this, Ray, because Bob brought up a good point. We're going to actually be presenting, I'm bringing a lot of my friends who are doing work with anti-inflammatories, natural, not the Motrins, but actually natural ones. I won't mention the name, but also different aspects that we can get into in other shows. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually take healthcare and bring it, which is why I wanted to dovetail off what Bob said, and actually let it go into a different direction where the doctors can actually do what they've always wanted to do, which is treat people a little more holistically, okay, and then actually give the pharmaceutical companies an opportunity to produce this product. Because this product will be very beneficial.
Right.
It'll do exactly what every government official, the American Dental Association has done by regulating against opioids. So, it's something I wanted to mention, and I really want to just mention, because these guys have been at the forefront with it, and they brought me on board, but they deserve a lot of credit, is Jamie Dukes and Robert Hunter. Because these guys really are looking to see what they can do and position it with athletics to actually use the athletes as role models, so that the whole United States, like Bob said, gets off of this drug problem. Very, very important. And then by that, decrease shootings. Well, something I didn't say is 90% of shootings are because somebody on drugs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an epidemic of that, and it's ongoing and ongoing. But talk about what your vision is for 2019. Where would you like to see your efforts going?
Well, I tell you what we're doing, and what we're actually doing is why we're at the Super Bowl. We're going to be actually having sporting events for young kids set around the stage of professional athletes, right? Professional baseball, in this case, will be professional football, right? But we're going to have it also with the NBA. What happened is in Atlanta, approximately, I guess about a month ago, Dale Davis, the former forward for Indiana Pacers.
Pacers, right.
Dale Ellis from the Supersonics.
Yep.
Bobby Hunter was there. And what we did is we ran a basketball clinic. So what happens, the kids came, and Bobby spoke to them, and told them, he has a great saying. He goes, people are going to offer you crack, smack, ice, and you tell them, hey, man, I can't do as good as that, but I'll try. Hey, man, that's not my thing. And, basically what's really beautiful about this is we can take professional athletes and as role models, then lead the kids down a path so they're not on drugs, and so that then they go back into the communities, which is exactly, what I wanted to mention is, this problem is something that has to be tackled by all of us.
Right.
It's not going to be one person, one group. So my whole idea for this year is to ally many, many groups, especially for me because I love sports. I want to ally, Major League sports and professional sports. And to me, that will actually then position it so the kids really, hey, you know what? I can be cool. I don't have to have drugs. I can go out with my girl. We can have a good time. We can go have a party later on, all the guys. Whether we win or lose, okay, we're still going to hang out. And we don't need the drugs. So to me, my vision is that we show them that they can get a natural high. I think all of us know there's something called endorphins. And endorphins is what we'll say, when you have that natural high, when you lift that weight that you never lifted before. When for Ray, when you hit that.
I thought you was talking about African dolphins. Endorphins.
No, different species.
That's the next show.
No, endorphins, Ray, are basically natural hormones that we have in our bodies that give us a high.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, well, like dolphins give you a high too because they're nice looking people.
Well,
animals.
Their name is Flipper.
That's right. I love Flipper when I was a little kid.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Doc, I got to ask you seriously. Sure. I have seen your passion. You remind me a lot of Bob. So naturally, I thought of the two of you being here together.
We know each other.
By the way, I know this guy.
Wow.
I got to tout him, because he took a beating here. This guy is he's a genius, this guy.
Well, let me just ask you a question.
Yes.
Where does the passion come from? I mean, you're out in the streets trying to stop kids from doing drugs more than you are trying to take care of a cavity.
That's right.
I mean, what's this all about?
That's right. I'll tell you why. I was born in Cuba, and I lost my country at a very early age. I was 8 years old, and I'll never forget this. I was at the airport, and I had this little wooden toolbox. Imagine you're 8 years old. You have your favorite toy. This was my favorite toy. I like to do a little construction. I was a little kid. And I was boarding the airplane because we were going to go to Miami. We're going to leave Cuba, go for freedom.
What year was this, Doc?
1962.
Okay.
May 1962.
All right.
And the guy...
I was in and out of there in 59.
Okay.
Okay.
They took away my toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
And, I so appreciated what I got the opportunity that I had in this country. And because of that opportunity, when I became a doctor, my father was a physician, my mother was a pharmacist, but when I became a surgeon in Bayside, I started seeing, like Bob said, I started seeing people, and I knew something was wrong because I trained on sedating people at the VA hospital. I was trained in sedating. So to me, I saw it. I saw my colleagues giving out Vicodin, Percocet, Percodan 15 years ago, 10 years ago. I'd speak to them. I'd say, hey, look, you don't need to do that. I just give Motrin. But the whole society was involved in this. So to me,